Let me ask you two questions. One, it's clear you love him so deeply. Why is it so hard to tell him more often, I love you?
Uh, it's just I don't know. I was thinking about that. Why is it so hard to like say those? Because you talk about that in
Yeah,
your book. Why is it so hard to say those three words? And it is, it's just there's so much barriers up with that. It's like literally breaking intergenerational like chains that we've told ourselves. It's been beaten in all of us. Don't be a bitch, don't be a
you're
pussy,
right.
don't do any of that, like this and that, and so it's hard. It's real hard to break those chains and step into that discomfort because you say it and then I've said it to my dad and I don't think he says it back because he doesn't know how
He
to
doesn't know
either.
how.
I think um to my knowledge, I can't fully remember when he said, I love you, me.
Mm,
When he says mijo,
mm,
that's his I love you. When
right.
he calls me mijo. And when he says that, that hits me in the heart. And I'm like, oh damn, I'm his son. Like I'm his son. And for that's like how he says I love you. He says I love you too by, providing for the family,
Mm,
giving having a place to live in. So he shares I love you or I love yous in different ways, but those
those
that,
are,
verbally saying it, that's a whole other
that's,
different story.
yeah,
But it's still there. Um, but it is hard.
yeah. You know, this conversation I've been having to other folks, and a lot of men I'm meeting, they tell their fathers that they love them when they start to decline in their health,
Hmm.
when they start to get frail, and they're seeing the other side more. And then because of that, the father's more open,
Hmm.
and just all the challenges that you have faced and overcame. Is it harder to stay quiet with your emotions for your father, or is it easier to stay quiet?
That's a hard question. So harder to stay quiet with my emotions or easier to
Like,
stay quiet?
what's yeah, what's harder, saying I love you to your dad or not saying? Like keeping that
Oh,
emotion
definitely not
trapped,
saying it.
not
Yeah,
saying it
definitely not saying it.
is harder.
Yeah, because I've said it before and like feels so freeing, so freeing.
Right.
I've given them hugs before and I feel so free. But when I hold that back, that's those emotions stay in there. Then they get bottled up. They turn into something else. They turn into resentment. Like, oh, my dad doesn't love me, and um, I'm a grown man now. I can tell him I love you, and I could ask for that love now. When I was a kid, I didn't know better, but now that I'm grown, I can ask for that. So when I bottle that up, you know, something in my mind tells me that and just come up with different narratives, different stories that like, oh, my dad doesn't love me either
Mm.
way. Why would I even say that? So I come up with different narratives. So it's definitely harder when I bottle it in, keep it in. And I've been I always ask myself that too, like why do I have to wait till when death is close to start being vulnerable and emotional? Because that's how it was with my grandpa too. When I saw him, he definitely never said I love you. Definitely never
Yeah.
hugged me. None of that. Um, but he was, uh, I loved him so much, and I didn't realize that until I saw him on his deathbed, and that's when I held his hand, and I held it, and I just looked him in the eyes, and I said, "I love you, Grandpa," but he couldn't talk already. So, but that was the only time I've ever said it in my whole life. I'm 28, and that was the only time I said it my whole life. And yeah, so that's definitely hard. It's a lot harder to keep it in.
It is.
Yeah,
Did your grandfather say anything to you through his eyes when you told him?
yeah. He started crying. Started. He looked scared. He didn't. He definitely wasn't ready to go, but so it looked so fragile,
Yeah.
and he had either dementia or Alzheimer's. I forget, but he was already. I don't know if he even recognized me, but he did look me in the eyes with like like watery eyes, and was tearful, and that was enough for me to be like, I know he loves me.
Yeah.